Welcome back to your channel Rayofhope, and this is going to be your another lab for our AWS Solution Architect. And in this lab, we are going to configure high availability in your Amazon virtual private cloud. Right? Let's get into the lab. This is how the lab looks like. I have already started. Now, in this lab, these are the lab content and the goal we have. We would be creating Amazon EC2 auto scaling group and register it with an application load balancer spanning across multiple availability zones. Create a highly available Amazon Aurora database DB cluster. Modify an Aurora database cluster to be highly available. Modify virtual private cloud. Configure to be highly available using redundant NAT gateways. Confirm your database can perform failover to a read replica instances. In this lab, we would be inspecting our existing lab environment, create a launch template, create an auto scaling group, test the application, test high availability of the application tier, configure high availability for database tier, make a NAT gateway highly available, force a failover for our database. Conclusion and end. So that will go. Now let's get into the lab. I open the console. In the meantime, I am uploading your third videos which will be live tomorrow. So now, this is how the console looks like. We already know what are the functionality it has, recently used, application, AWS, health, cost, and usage, and so on. Right now, here, none of the things is mentioned. So all I'm gonna do are just say search EC2 just to make a quick shortcut, right? So I would not be wasting my time in just going through back and again and again. So now I have EC2. I would be searching VPC. I will also mark it favorite. Now two things has been done. I would be also searching for RDS, and Aurora and RDS. I will mark it, and then I would be searching for S3. S3. I will mark it, and Lambda. I will mark it. Okay. Now we have marked it as a favorite items, so which probably we would be needing in this lab, right? Now let's get back to the lab. What is the prerequisites? We already completed all the prerequisites and start a lab. We don't need to go through that. Task 1. What do we need to do? Okay, from here. Task 1. Amazon VPC public. Okay, done. Task 1. On the top of the AWS manual console, search by VPC. Okay, I already told you, right? We will be needing that. These are the most common functionality that you would be using in Amazon Management Console or AWS environment. You would be needing it because without this you cannot make it anything happen. Okay, and at the time probably I will try to cover this capstone project where they are trying to cover the entire lab in one go, right? So now we are inside the VPC console. What next? It says the lab VPC was created for you by the lab environment, and all the application resources used by this lab exist in this VPC. It's been created by AWS already. In the left navigation to choose your VPC, and in your VPC choose in your lab VPC appears on the list along with the default VPC. In the left navigation pane choose subnet. Okay, it's loaded or not? It's still loading. Let it load. Yes. Now you can see there is something called your VPC. This is our VPC. We can see the lab VPC has been created for us. That is what they were talking about. In the left navigation, your VPC, your lab VPC appears on the list along with the default VPC. That means they have already created the VPC. We learn about how to create the VPC here in this lab, in third lab. Okay, no, actually second lab. We learn about it, how to create the VPC. Now we will get inside the subnet Again, you can see the for public subnet 1 and public subnet 2. This has been created already. Okay, so in the subnet that are part of your lab VPC are displayed in the list. Examine the following details in the columns of public subnet. Public subnet 1. Okay, so in the VPC column, you can identify which VPC subnet is associated with the subnet exists inside the lab VPC. So here we have this, and obviously we have subnet ID, VPC, and DNS record. I mean A record, which is IPv4 here. Okay, so what IP they were talking about in the IPv4 classes, enter the domain routing. Inter-domain routing column, the value of this means the subnet includes 256 IP, 5 of which are reserved and unusable between these two ranges. In the availability zone column, you can identify availability zone in which this subnet resides. The subnet resides in the availability zone ending with A. Okay, so the subnet resides where? Here. Okay, these two are the availability zone for this. Now, okay, to reveal the more information, click public subnet 1. So obviously we will scroll it down, click over here. Now it gives a detailed information about this particular public subnet, right? To expand the lower, okay, good. On the lower half of the page, choose route table tab. Where it is? Here. Now we can see the destination and the target. What else we can do? Obviously we need to edit this route. Let's see what they are saying. Route. This tab displays details about the routing for this subnet. The first entry specifies that the traffic designed within VPC CIDR range. This is routed within the VPC local. Yes, this route in VPC local only. Now the second entry, which is this IP range, is routed on the internet gateway. Gateway IGW, internet gateway basically, and this random number. This configuration makes it public subnet. So here we have two subnet in this. The one which is local and the one is public subnet. Now choose network ACL tab. Here we have network ACL tab. In this we have inbound rules and outbound rules, how we can interact with the traffic. What we can do with this? The T tab display network access control and associated with the subnet. These rules currently permit all the traffic to flow in and out of the subnet. We can further restrict the traffic by modifying network ACL rules by using security groups. In the left navigation panel, choose internet gateways. Here we have internet gateways. Now, there is an internet gateway that has been created already. Okay, these are pre-configured lab, right? The internet gateway has been created. In the left navigation pane, choose security groups, a firewall. So we have a security groups in security, and we also have network access control. Okay, so now we are inside the security. Select inventory ALB security group. Even the firewall has been created. Again, the purpose of this lab was to configure your high availability that it should not fail. Here we have inventory ALB. Let's select this. This is what they were talking about, right? Okay, this is a security group used to control incoming traffic to the application load balancer. On the lower half, choose inbound rules tab. Okay, so we have inbound rules tab. Now there is one rule that has been specified. Let's see what we can do with that. Okay, so in the inbound rules, this security groups permit inbound web traffic over port number 80 from everywhere. Choose outbound rules tab. By default, security groups allow all outbound traffic. However, you can modify this rule if necessary. You can see basically all type of traffic it accepts when it's an outbound for band actually. Okay, select inventory app security group, ensure that is the only security group selected. Now inventory app. This is the security group used to control incoming traffic for the app server EC2 instances. On the lower half of the page, choose inbound routes tab. Again, we have a type HTTP and the local port. Basically, they are accepting a local environment which is port number 80 only. Okay, choose outbound role, select inventory, DB security. Basically, all of this are giving you the overview of all those things. Okay, that if all the things are configured properly or not, and this has been created. You can see all the like inbound and outbound traffic has been configured properly and already. Now it's time to examine our EC2 instances to make sure that it is properly configured or not. So I have already marked it actually in my favorite. Okay, so this is how the EC2 instances console looks like. Now, basically, obviously here we have instances. Probably we need to create one or select the app server instances to reveal more details of the bottom page, because the instances has been created already. Let it load, select it. Now it will give us all the details about these instances. EC2 instances actually. Set alarms, monitoring, security, networking, storage, and tags. Now, choose action, drop down menu, choose instances setting, and then filter, and then choose edit user data. Action, instances, edit user data. Okay, so there is already an instances user. Probably copy user data. People need to copy only. Copy user data. Let's copy this. Copy it now. It's a bash script based user data. You just copy in your text editor. Let me open the notepad. Okay. Now I would need to identify and see how this load balancer is configured. So for this, all we need to do, expand navigation menu and choosing the menu for them, and choose target groups. So again, I just no need to go for this and just do it manually. I'll just search target group. Okay. Now I can jump from here. Okay, now we have inventory app selected. On the lower half, targets tab, application node forwards incoming request to all targets on the list. The app server EC2 instances you examined earlier is already registered as target. Okay. Now, in the left navigation, choose load balancer, choose inventory lab. So here we have load balancer. Yeah. Now here we have listeners, network mapping, resource mapping, security, monitoring, integration, and so on. Open the PHP inventory application in a web server. Copy inventory app setting page URL. Okay, 1 second. Copy inventory app setting page URL on the left side of this tab instruction to your clipboard. Okay. Okay, so now what it says, to To confirm the inventory application is working, open the PHP inventory application in web browser. Or copy inventory app setting page URL. This is what the URL, and just paste it over here. Continue. We have this. Now we are able to access. That means even the database we created over here in the third lab using VPC infrastructure, the database has been created already, which is DB admin. Now it is working. On the open a new web browser, paste the copied URL previous and please enter. The setting page of inventory application displays the data push endpoint and name and so on. Leave all the setting inventory app settings, please add default configuration, choose save. So now just make it save. Okay. So now we have some details like store, item, quality and so on. We have finished inspecting all the resources created for a lab environment and successfully access the private inventory application. Next, we create launch template to use Amazon EC2 auto scaling to make inventory application highly available. Okay, so till now we just inspected our existing application that was created by AWS. Now once we inspect it, we would need to create and launch template. Actually, for this again we would be needing EC2 only. In EC2, below instances, choose launch template. So here, do we have something launch template? Here we have instances. Launch template, yes. Launch template name and description. Create a launch template. You must choose AMI. Okay, you must choose an AMI. Okay. You must choose an AMI and image switch image. AMI available for your operating system. In this lab, you launch instances running Amazon Linux 2023 OS. So we would need to look for this is what we would be preferring. Amazon Linux kernel 6.1. Now for Amazon machine, choose Amazon Linux for instances type to t3.micro. Now we configure the same. It's a T3 micro only, right? You can see T3. T3 micro. When you launch an instances, the instances type determines the hardware allocated to your instances. Each instances type of a different compute memory and storage capabilities, and they are grouped in instances families based on these capabilities. In the network settings section, click on security groups, choose inventory app. So again, first we will need to launch the create, okay, security groups. Existing security group or create security group. In network statistic for security group, choose inventory app. Inventory app. Now scroll down to advanced details section, which is here. Expand advanced details. For IAM profile, choose inventory app role. For metadata version, choose version 2, token required. It's already 2 only. In user data section, paste the user data you saved in your text editor during task 1.2. This is this. And then create the launch group. You launch templates. Now event templates has been created. So we create a launch template. Now we would need to create an auto scaling group, and for that, how we gonna do that? In this task, we can create auto scaling group that deploys EC2 instances across your private subnets. This is a security best practice when deploying application, because instances in a private subnet cannot be accessed from the internet. Instead, user sends request to the application load balancer, which forwards the request to the EC2 instances in private subnets as shown in the flowing diagram. Okay. Now in the left navigation panel, we have something called auto scaling group, where it is here. So let's get inside the auto scaling group. Now once we get inside the auto scaling group, we would need to create a auto scaling group and name it inventory ASG, which stands for auto scaling group. Choose your instance launch page displayed in the network section. Configure the flowing. In availability zone and subnet, select private subnet 1 and a private subnet 2 from the drop down menu. So we had to private subnet 1, this is private subnet 1 and this is private subnet 2. Okay, from the existing load balancer target group, one second, choose next. Now on the integrate with the other services optional, please configure the following. Select attach to an existing load balancer. There is now no load balancer, so I would need to attach to existing load balancer that we created. Attach to an existing load balancer. Choose from the classic load balancer. Choose from your load balancer target group. So obviously it would be from our load balancer target group. Okay. From the existing load balancer target group document, select inventory app HTTP. Okay. Now VPC lattice integration options. This tells the auto scaling group to register new EC2 instances as a part of inventory target group that examined earlier. The load balancer sends traffic to instances that are in this target group. Here, checkup grace period enter 300. Okay, this is already put it as at 300 seconds. Then I'll just click on next. Desired capacity enter 2. Minimum desired capacity, maximum desired capacity. Minimum desired capacity 2 and maximum desired capacity 2. It should be 2 in both. Okay. Automatic scaling optional. Choose whether to use target tracking policy or not. In additional setting section, choose enable group matrix collection within CloudWatch. Okay. Now we need to do the next. From the until add tags, specific okay, add tags. Next. Okay. Now, for this lab, you always maintain 2 instances to ensure high availability. If the application is expected receive varying load of traffic, it also possible to create a scaling policy that defines when to launch and terminate instances. However, this is not necessary for the inventory application in this lab actually. Now, add tag. Key would be name and the value will be inventory app. Just click now. Next. It's almost created now. Create auto scaling group. This is an auto scaling with a name which helps you to identify which EC2 instances are associated with which application or with which business concept such as core center. Choose next. Review the auto scaling group configuration for accuracy and then choose create. Okay. Now just create a auto scaling group. Till now we created the 3 tasks we have done. Inspect our existing lab environment. We created launch template. We created an auto scaling group. Now we would need to test the application. We did it. It will take some time to create this. In the meantime, the application will soon be running across 2 availability zones. Amazon EC2 auto scaling maintains the configuration even if instances or availability zone fails. Now that you have created your auto scaling group, you can verify that the group has launched your EC2 instances. Choose your auto scaling group. Now, the status it's just not normal. It should be like a normal only. But let's see. Okay. Choose your examine the group details section, review information about the auto scaling group. There is no activity that, yeah, here we have activity history. The activity history section maintains record of events that have occurred in your auto scaling group. The status column contains the status of your instances when your instances are launching. The status column shows the end services after an instance is launched. The status changed to successful. And yes, it was launched successful, therefore the status is successful. Now, choose the instances management tab. Here we have instances management. Nothing, no data. All we have is instances, 2 instances that created. Your auto scaling group has launched 2 EC2 instances and they are in service lifecycle state. The health status column shows the result of EC2 instances, health check of your instances. Refresh your instances have not reached in service state yet. You need to wait a few seconds. It's really working well actually. We don't need to even refresh it. Now, choose the monitoring tab. Here you can review monitoring related information for your auto scaling group. So let's scroll it down, get into the monitoring. Now we can see all the things it is monitoring using the CloudWatch. Okay. So now we have also tested the high availability of the application tier. Okay, I mean that we have tested our application, right? We would need to test the application still actually. So in the application, in the expand the navigation menu by choosing the main icon, and then in the left navigation page choose target groups. So again, all we need is just get into this and choose the target group from the load balancer. We have already selected this. On the lower hub, choose target tabs. We have registered instances and target over here. Now, in the registered target section, there are 3 instances. But no, we have only 1 instances. In the registered target section, there are 3 instances. This include 2 auto scaling instances named inventory app and original instances that you examine task 1 names app server head. For the instance, select app server. App server. Okay. And remove the instances from the root by cycle, choose deregister. Deregister. And then obviously it will pop up, so we would deregister it. Successfully deregister 1 target. The load balancer stops routing request on to a target as soon as it's deregistered. The head status of the column of app server displays reading state. Yes, it does. Okay, now it is giving us 3 target instances. Okay, it could be that due to our internet connectivity. Okay. Delisting the instances only detach it from the load balancer. The app server instances continues to run indefinitely until you terminate it. So if the head state column of the inventory app sustain does not display healthy yet it needs to be refreshed. Okay, it is already showing healthy only. Just it is app server is getting drained, that we manually did it. Now return the inventory application tab in your web browser. Inventory application tab in the web browser. This is the web browser that we had. Save it. Okay, let it be. Now, if you close the browser, you can reopen the inventory by doing the following. In the left navigation panel, choose tool balancer in the inventory tool balancer. The DNS name of your record. Okay. Store balancer. Select it. Just scroll it down. We have DNS name. Use the same. Get into the page table. Paste it. It will give the DNS now. Now we have the record over here. Okay. It should be similar to inventory that we uses this actually, right? Open new browser tab, paste the DNS name and paste enter. Okay. Refresh the page in your web browser in few times. The instance admin and liability zone change between two instances. Okay. Instances and liability zone. Okay. You can see it is getting changed. Right? It is getting changed. That means the instances it's getting changed every time, and also the availability zone. If one gets tired, then another will be in the actions. Yeah, that's cool actually. Okay, now we got to know about this. Congratulations, you have performed your Amazon EC2 instances. Auto scaling successfully launched two new inventory instances across two availability zone. Obviously, you can see there is two availability zone actually, right? Now, the fifth task that we have over here, test high availability of the application tier. Now, what do we need to do? Return to EC2 management console and click on instances. So obviously now I'm in EC2 and we are on the instances page. We have our app server already registered over here. Now terminate one of the web instances to simulate the failure. Okay. Terminate delete instances. Successfully it has been terminated. Okay, cool. After a short time, the load balancer will check up will notice that instances is not responding automatically out all incoming traffic to the remaining instances. Leaving the console open, switch to inventory application tab in your web browser and refresh the page several times. Now you can see it's 773 and it's a best 2B. It got changed, right? Yes. Refresh, return to EC2 management console. Reload the instances using refresh button every 10 seconds until EC2 instance give the name of inventory app. Cool. Now we got the inventory app and the app server has been terminated, right? Cool. Refresh the return to the inventory application tab. Inventory application tab. Refresh the page several times. The instance area ability zone change as per the page refresh. (7.3). Okay. Cool. Now, this demonstrated that your application is now highly available, right? Cool. The application that we usually even have a termination from one, it is inventory app like it is available for us, right? Now we would need to configure high availability for the database tier. Okay. You verified that application tier was highly available in the previous task. However, our database is still operating from the only one database instances. So what we can do? RDS. We have RDS over here. choose database. Here we have the database. We have already interacted with this Aurora and RDS database, okay, and we have created one, right? So I think you should already know if you have watched our previous video, okay. I locate the row that consists inventory primary value in the fifth column. Okay. In the fifth column, label the region and is note which LT zone is primarily located. US best to be. Cause in the following step you create additional instance for the database cluster. For true high availability architecture, the second instance must be located in an availability zone that is different from primary instances. Select inventory cluster or radio button associated with your database or database cluster. Inventory cluster, right? Now select inventory cluster. We have already selected it. Now we have endpoint names and all the information. In the fifth column, label region. Here we have choose action and then add reader. So action, add reader. In the settings section, configure the following. DB instances identify. In the connectivity section under availability zone, select different availability zone from one to noted above in your primary located. Okay. This replica database will be in the same region as the source database. Availability zone USA. I do not remember now what was the probably it was B or A. I need to check it. Okay, I think let me get back to listed instances. Load balancer. Let's get back to the RDS only. Database, inventory primary, S2B, right? S2B. So it should be 2A over here. Region and database. S2B. Okay, so what it's saying, in the connectivity under availability zone, select the different availability zone from the one you selected for the where your inventory primary is located. Inventory primary located is in US base 2B. So it would be 2A. Now it should be default, or let's see, in the monitoring section, enhance monitoring section and uncheck it. At the bottom of the page, choose add label. Just add it. A new DB identifier name inventory replica appears on the list and its status is creating. This is your Aurora replica instance. You can continue to the next without waiting for it. Now all we need to do is to make a NAT gateway for the high availability. So it's creating now. What else we can do now? Imagine this, the preceding image despite how to enhance fault tolerance and ensure continuous internet access for the inventory app servers in private subnet across two availability zones. It is recommended to add a second NAT gateway in availability zone 2, complementing the existing one in a public subnet 1. So to add a NAT gateway, when we talk about any networking and all, we talk about virtual private virtual private cloud, actually, that is VPC. Most important, actually, it's just always happening, right? And then again here we have NAT gateways. From there all we need to do is to create a NAT gateway and just make a name called this. NAT gateways. I would need to create a NAT gateway. My NAT gateways. Choose allocate elastic IP. Public subnet 2. Elastic IP has been allocated, and now we need to create a NAT gateway. Creation of NAT gateway is completed. Now we would need to create and configure the private. Just a moment. Okay. Create and configure a new route table. Here we have create a new route table, private route table to lab VPC, right? Choose create. Now the lab has been the routing has been created as well. Now details for newly created route tables are displayed. There are currently one route which does direct all the traffic locally. Now add a route to send traffic, inbound traffic, through the new NAT gateway. So the NAT gateway we just created. What we can do now? Choose edit routes, actually. Edit routes. Obviously we would need to add route. Choose NAT gateway, my NAT gateway. Save changes. Now we will need to configure routing for private subnet. Choose subnet association. Here we have edit subnet association. Which one? Private subnet 2, right? Private subnet 2. Save association. Now even configuring the routing for private subnet has been done. Force a failover over Aurora database. Again, we will need to get inside the RDS database, relational database actually for AWS. Now we have to get inside the database and go for inventory plan. We have database. And this is the database. We created replica. We have this is the main database inventory cluster. In this we have inventory primary and inventory replica, and all are available. This the first one is US base 2, and it has two databases, which is US base 2b and US base 2a region wise. Now, so cost and verified inventory replica DB access is available before continuing the next step. Yes, this is available now, and it was created for the DB and select inventory primary DB. So this is what. Now next what? Okay. The primary DB, choose actions and then choose failover. Choose action, choose failover. Sure. Failing. From the navigation menu on the left, choose events. Event subscription or event. So I will need to get into let it fail actually. And let me get into event. Now here you can see all the events. Like the first, the DB cluster was created, it was cluster topology was updated, DB database was created, cluster topology was updated, DB again it was created and started clause AG failover, DB instances was shut down, new writer was promoted, DB instance was started, restarted, again restarted, completed cluster initiated failover.